Okay, last thing to tell you very, very quickly, we're about out of time here, but a very quick thing. So I mentioned the other day, speaking of just kind of a form of vote fraud, or really, I guess it's more vote fraud versus election fraud. But you remember when I was telling you about a postal worker, there now have been at least 3 who've come forward, but a postal worker coming forward saying how he had been told these mail-in ballots that came in too late, came in past the deadline of election day, so they couldn't get postmarked by election day. He was told to put them in a special bin, and the post office was going to backdate them. So he goes to Project Veritas and says, hey, I'm just going to tell you this doesn't sound right to me. It sounds like they're cheating. I don't know. So that guy went ahead and the video went out, the viral video, Project Veritas puts it out there. The post office is actually engaged in helping, it wasn't just one office either, helping the mail-in ballots get stamped so they can be counted when they actually are illegal votes because they were not cast in accordance with the law of that state. They were sent in too late. So this guy now, he goes forward to Project Veritas. Well, this poor guy, his name is Richard Hopkins. He got a visit. He got a visit from federal officials who came to him to arm twist him, to end up having him try to take back his story. In fact, the Washington Post, I think it was, ran with the story. Washington Post claimed this guy, Richard Hopkins, had actually, pulled back the story or reneged, recanted, said I never said that. Isn't what true. That didn't really happen. And so you quickly had all these Democrats in Congress tweeting out, see, it never really happened. The Oversight Committee, chaired by, what's her name there? Carolyn Maloney, I think it is. Yeah, Carolyn Maloney, a Democrat in the U.S. House, called it false allegations, saying that this is done to sow distrust, this is misinformation, and it erodes trust in our democracy. I mean, she's basically saying this Postal Service whistleblower recanted his allegations. And he, the Postal Service worker, is saying, no, I didn't. I did not recant what I said. But the point in closing out today's is how invested the left in this country is, and many people who I would call deep state are in covering up all the wrongdoing in this election. Listen to this one clip. I want to, Matt the Wonderful, I want to play the one clip that is by, it actually has the, Richard Hopkins, postal worker, is describing the federal agents. You can hear the federal agents' voices. They recorded them, what they said to him. Federal agents approached Richard Hopkins, grilled him for 2 hours, and tried to get him to change his story. Let's quick hear that video.
Let me make good on that promise right away, okay? This storm is getting crazy, right? And it's out of a lot of people's control. And so the reason they called me in is to try to harness that storm, try to reel it back in before it gets really crazy, okay?
I understand.
Because we have senators involved, we have the Department of Justice involved, we have
Trump's lawyers team's gotten a hold of me.
I'm not, well, I am actually. I am trying to twist you a little bit because in that, believe it or not, your mind will kick in.
Okay.
We like to control our mind, and when we do that, we can convince ourselves of a memory. But when you're under a little bit of stress, which is what I'm doing to you purposely, your mind can be a little bit clearer. And we're going to do a different exercise too to make your mind a little bit clearer. Okay?
Good to go.
So, but this is all on purpose.
Roger.
I'm not scaring you, but I am scaring you.
Okay, if you listen to the whole tape, this is a federal official threatening this postal worker and trying to get him to recant what he said. And then later gets reported he recanted. This guy, this postal worker, has put another video out. He's still saying to Project Veritas, I never recanted. I never took it back. I never told them it didn't happen, because it did. This is what my boss told me. But I want you to think about the level of corruption involved. A federal official arm twisting and scaring, by his own admission, a postal service worker who is telling what happened to him when his own boss told him to put ballots that were mailed too late into a different bin so they could be backdated and counted. And this is such a problem to the federal government that they send agents to threaten and arm twist him. He says, we're out of time, I can't play it, but there was another video where he says, yeah, I was scared. I was scared when they were talking to me. This is people, we're in the middle of watching an enormous, impossible to overstate consequence of an investigation into the level and depth and scope of election fraud in this country, the likes of which America has never, ever seen. That's what we're facing in this country right now. Stand behind President Trump and his determination to get to the point where every single legal vote counts. And every other vote that wasn't legal or that wasn't cast by someone who's a legal voter or that was manipulated in the system gets fixed. We cannot surrender America to the radical Marxist agenda that's now taken over the Democrat Party based on an election that was, in my view, clearly the attempted theft of this election by the Democrat Party, by the Biden team, trying to suppress everyone and everything who is calling out the unfairness, the irregularities, the bizarre behavior of many election officials in this cycle. Watch closely what Sidney Powell is doing. Watch closely for people arguing and trying to bring out more and more about what Russ Ramsland has shown on my show, he's shown on many shows, which is there are actual experts who looked into this, and the potential for actually changing the outcome of elections exists by just the use of the electronic manipulation of voter data stored in computers. We talked about the whole computer thing yesterday, the programs, the connections between those programs and the many people on the left, including Soros-type people involved in those computer programs. It's that people, it could not be a more serious time in America. Do not give in to the people saying, well, you know, fair is fair, Trump's got to give it up. If Trump lost, he has a lot of great plans for 4 years. I can't wait to watch what he's going to do. But where we stand right now, massive election fraud appears to be nearly certainly to have occurred. And everyone who cares about America's future needs to be on the side of getting to the truth of all of it.